Nights with me, Odi Fitzgerald. If this is the first time you're listening to the show, then thank you very much for tuning in, letting me help you to unwind and relax your weekend. You know, weekends, everybody says a weekend is time to relax and to just wind down. It's not. No, 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 no. Weekends are probably some of the busiest times that you will spend in your life. Let me know how your weekend was, and I want you to get in touch with the show. Don't forget you can get in touch on the Common Sense Retirement Plan text line, which is 71307. Or if you want to have a chat with me, if you want to come on the phone, if you want to give a little call, well, Ben is here. He's going to be taking your calls tonight. You can get me on the WRD phone line, 800 905 0989. What did you do this weekend? We need to know. I need to. Inquiring minds want to know. Did you go anywhere? Did you do anything? Well, I went out on the lake yesterday. Out on the Lake Hartwell. As many know, I like to try and catch a few fish that are in Lake Hartwell, some of them elusive fish. I didn't catch any fish at all, but I did catch a lot of sun, and I'm suffering the consequences. Yes, you were saying, but Odie, you're Irish. You're going to get sunburned no matter what. Yes. I was getting sunburned under a 40-watt light bulb back in Ireland, but the sun in Lake Hartwell, it kind of gets me a little bit. It's a little bit strong, and I'm looking a little bit red. I'm just showing Ben here. Look at it. See that lovely little, yeah, it's got the red and white going on here. It's yeah. So I must be doing something wrong. I don't know what I haven't been doing wrong. Anyway, coming up on the show tonight, I am going to be talking. I don't want to be talking about this, but unfortunately, I'm going to be talking about the school shootings that happened in Georgia this week, and as part of my mental health kind of series, I want to call it, maybe. I am going to be joined live in the studio by Janet from Carpe Diem Counselling, just there in Anderson. So if you've got any questions that you want to ask Janet, if there's anything about your mental health, or even a little bit about how you're feeling or how you should be feeling, get your text messages into me. Common Sense Retirement Plan text line 71307, and Janet will be here just after about 8:30, give or take. We'll be having her. She'll be here answering questions and helping to alleviate some issues that you may have. On the text, we have Odie. Shout out to Kid Flaccid. Had the weekend off, so I did some work in my books. Work in your books? What kind of books are you doing? You can't just tell me that you've been working in your books. What kind of books are they? Are they, is it quantum physics books, or what are you doing? Or was it a misprint? Were you trying to say something else? I don't know. Don't forget, you can get me on the if you want to have a little look and you want to say, well, this Odie guy, what does he look like? Is he a real person? Is he an AI here on your Sunday nights? You can go on to the WORD 98.9 Facebook page. We're streaming live there. We should be streaming live there. I don't think there's an issue that we aren't. No, we're streaming live there. Everything's good. Or you can get me on Odi_Fitzgerald Facebook page. And I'm also on YouTube. And don't forget to tell 4 friends. If you just tell 4, you can tell more than 4. You can tell 104 friends. Just tell 4 friends about what we do here on 98.9 WRD, the voice of the Carolinas, as part of the Odyssey group. And you can listen back to all of your favorite shows here on the Odyssey not podcast, the app. That's the one. That's the word I was looking for. It's been a long day. It's been one of those. Now, as you know, shameless plug. Are you ready for the shameless plug? Here it goes. As you know, I have been directing Murder on the Orient Express in Clemson Little Theatre for the last 3 days. It was our opening weekend, and we had a fantastic weekend. We didn't sell out each night, but we came very close to it. So if you're looking to get your tickets to the Murder on the Orient Express, it's next week is the final weekend, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. You never know, the director sometimes walks through the crowd to say hello to people before the shows. Yeah, I actually had someone who came up to me. I got completely fanboyed. I had a person come up to me and they said, Are you that Odie fella? I said, yes, I am. Oh, can we get a photograph? Yes, you can get a photograph. I will take photographs with you. Kid Flaccid has been back in touch. He said, my books are sci-fi and fantasy. That's what I like to hear. Definitely like to hear. Now, as we all know, there's going to be a big debate happening in a couple of days' time. There's going to be a big presidential debate happening on the 10th of September. And we all know it's Kamala and Donald Trump. They're going to be having a little chat. But I'm curious as to what accent Kamala is going to have. What is she going to be using? Is she going to be using her normal accent or is she going to be using the made up accent? I think I have a sound clip there for you, Ben, if you wanna pop it up. She was there. This is in Pittsburgh. The first thing you're gonna hear is in Pittsburgh where Kamala was having a little conversation with the people that are around.
A union member for sick leave. You better thank a union member for paid leave. You better thank a union member for vacation.
Yeah, you better thank a union member. I mean, come on. Now, first thing I want to say is that she needs to get a new script writer because it's the exact same script. She a couple of days later she went to Philadelphia and let's have a listen to what she said in Philadelphia.
Time.
Oh, there. Well, that's okay. We get little.
Thank unions for paid family leave. Thank unions for your vacation time.
You see, that's. I know she's already come out and said that she's two different ethnicities because a couple of months back she was saying that she was from Indian descent, and then she's saying she's from, she's got black descent. I'm like, what is she doing? Yeah. Want to hear your thoughts on the common sense retirement planning text line 71307. Definitely get in touch with me over that. What you think? Is she going to mess up on the speeches, or is Donald going to say something he shouldn't? I don't know. Not 100% sure on that, but it's going to be very interesting. But as I said, when Kamala is doing the speeches, like, okay, so I've done a lot of stand-up comedy in my time. And if I'm playing a venue, if I'm, for argument's sake, I've played the Comedy Zone in Greenville. Played it a couple of times, and there was one stage where I played it 2 nights in a row, and I used very similar content. I didn't use the exact same content, but I used very similar content. And it got the laughs because I knew it wasn't going to be the same audience 2 nights in a row. It just wasn't going to be. Miss Harris there, does she realize that she's got not only some of the same crowd because, people follow her, people like her, everybody has their own opinions, but the media records everything, absolutely everything that she does. It's the same with Donald. It's the same with everybody. Everybody that's in the limelight, everything is recorded by them. Everything is listened to. Do you know, you can't say anything. You can't say anything. I don't know. You can't say anything at all without somebody recording it, knowing exactly what you're going to say. Anyway, listen, when we come back, I'm going to be talking about something that I'm not too happy about talking about. I'm going to be talking about the school shootings that happened over the weekend and another mass shooting that happened. You're listening to Sunday Nights with Odi Fitzgerald here on News Talk 98.9 WRD, the voice of the Carolinas. happened. And we've got everybody who's getting in contact with me over gun control, gun violence. I understand where everybody's coming from. The little backstory is, as you know, on Wednesday, I think it was Wednesday last, there was a shooting in Appalachia High School in Georgia. Now, it was not far. Do not think by any means that it is far away, because it is on your doorstep. And I hate it. It's something that should not have happened. It should never have happened. And I was talking to a very good friend of mine who's lived here. He's lived in America his entire life. He's lived just outside Anderson his entire life. And the thing is, he said to me, he said, Odi, about 30 years ago when I was going to high school, every single young guy that was driving his pickup truck to high school had a shotgun or a rifle or something in the back window on a gun rack in his truck, and nothing ever happened. Now, as I say, we lost the lives of 4 people last week in Appalachia High School. It was Mason and Christian, sorry, who were both 14 years old. And then we had 2 teachers, Richard and Christina, who obviously tried to stop everything that was going on. But how does it get to the point where somebody decides, I need to do this. I have to bring a gun into a school. I just don't understand it. Now, people have come out now and they've said that the shooter who was who brought his gun into school, the guy called Colt Gray, they've said now his grandfather, his maternal grandfather, has come out and has said that how could it not have happened when he grew up in the house that he grew up in? Because his father was is an evil person. That doesn't excuse it. I'm sorry, but it doesn't. That kid decided to go into a school to take lives. Now you can say, Odie, we need lots of gun control and there's lots of gun violence and nobody should have guns and everybody should walk around and be safe. And yeah, I would love that. I would absolutely love if everybody could walk around the streets, if kids could go to school without having to fear what's going to happen to them. Myself and my wife have had many conversations about school kids going to school, and we've decided to homeschool our son. Now, I remember talking a couple of months back about homeschooling and how when it first came up, when my wife first mentioned it to me, I was like, "Oh, no, no, we can't do that. We can't." Is it a good thing? Is it all right to homeschool your kids? And now I'm sitting here, well, I don't want my kid to have to go to school with a bulletproof backpack. Yes, you heard me right, a bulletproof backpack. They are now selling bulletproof backpacks for kids. Kids should not have to go to school with bulletproof backpacks. And I get back to the thing about nobody should have a gun. That's all well and good. That's fine. You can say that all you want. If you take the guns off all the good people, who are the people left with the guns? They're the bad people. I was talking to Ben before the show and we were chatting about it. If you put 6 people into a room, 5 of them are good people, good, upstanding, God-fearing people, good American people. And if they have guns on them, they're not going to do anything. But if you put one bad person into that same room and you arm them as well, chances are he's going to try something. But if he's up against 5 good Americans that understand how to use a gun or what a gun is for, he's not going to get very far. That's something that was said to me when I came to America first, is that if there's guns, if someone was to walk into a restaurant and they were to pull out a gun and say, this is a robbery. How many people are gonna turn around with their own guns and say, "No, sorry, bud, it's not today." And that makes me feel safe. 100% makes me feel safe. On the text line, common sense retirement planning text line. Odie, I heard he was transgender and bullied, and is that a plausible defense, Jim and Easley? Jim, I don't know, buddy. I don't know. I mean, don't get me started on the transgender thing. I mean, that's that's out there. But bullied, I was bullied as a kid. I was bullied in school. I was a small little kid. I was the tiny little kid. I didn't grow until for some reason my body decided, no, you're not growing until you leave school. And then I got up to 6 foot, which was great. But when I was a small little kid, I was a little bit round, a little bit fat, a little bit ugly. Some people would say, well, Odie, you're still big and ugly. But, I was that little kid and I was bullied. But I didn't decide that one day. Now, yes, no, you're going to make the argument, well, Odie, you were back in Ireland. You can get knives in Ireland. You can do anything. You can get stuff. If I wanted to, I could have done damage in Ireland, but I didn't because it wasn't in me, because it wasn't in the culture. It wasn't something that we thought about doing. Yes, I was bullied as a kid, but I dealt with it. It wasn't great. So I want to hear your thoughts. I want to hear what you have to say about it. Um, I just need to I need to try and get my head around it as to why it's still a thing. And then yesterday in Kentucky, just outside Lexington, there was another person who decided that he was going to go. I think it's in a place called London. The London police they're looking. It's a manhunt ongoing for a 32-year-old Joseph Couch, who decided to go onto the interstate with a loaded weapon and start shooting people. How does that make sense? You're going to come back to me and you're going to say, Odie, it's the people shouldn't have guns. Certain people shouldn't have guns. The wrong people should not be armed. 100% they shouldn't be armed. Is it a thing that we need to get more stringent with background checks? Is it a thing that I've talked about it before. I've talked about it on many different shows. In Ireland, for you to get a gun, it takes about a year to get it. And yes, I know what you're going to say. If I want to have a gun here in America, I can have one. As long as the background checks are good. Is it time for the background checks to step up? Sexter says, Odie, with all the military-aged males entering the country illegally, including that Venezuelan gang, apparently, no law-abiding citizen should give up their guns. I'm not giving up. No. As I said, if I'm going into a wolf pack, I want something to defend myself. I hunt. 100% hunt. Deer season is coming up. I was talking to a deputy when I moved to America first. He said to me, We're about 15 minutes out of town. Have you got something to defend yourself? Because, when 2 minutes count, we're 15 minutes away. So, and that's something else. Like, that's something else that, you have to defend yourself. The same people that are calling for gun control are also the people that are calling for to get rid of the cops, get rid of the sheriff's departments, defund the police. If you want to defund the police and you're sitting in your home and all of a sudden you hear something outside, who are you going to call? Well, you don't need to call anybody because nobody's going to come because you've asked to defund the police. You're getting rid of the money. Just go to your safe and get your gun. Oh, no, 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 no. You can't do that either because, well, your gun isn't there. Anyway, when I come back, I'm going to be talking to Janet. She's in from Carpe Diem Counselling in Anderson. You're listening to News Talk 98.9 WRD, the voice of the Carolinas. show for the last couple of weeks, you will know that I have talked extensively about mental health, and you will know that I want to try my best to help people as best I can. Well, I figured I'm going to need some professional help, so I got in touch with Janet from a you're from Carpe Diem Counseling in Anderson, and I got in touch with you and I said, Janet, I need help. I need to help the masses out there because I think they need help. I think they need to. I think people need help, and I think that's what you're here for. You're here to help me to help them. That'd be right.
Yes, exactly. Yes.
So, do you want to tell me a little bit first off about the service that you provide? So, you're Carpe Diem Counseling in Anderson. What exactly is counseling?
So counseling is not like you see it on TV where I mean, I guess when we all see our professions on TV, we get upset, but
Oh, so it's not the guy, sitting on the big wingback chair, and
right.
you've got big thick glasses on, and there's somebody lying down on a
Writing
couch.
down things and it's not like that at all. My office is very inviting. I even bring my dogs with me.
Okay.
They're not therapy dogs, but they know what going to work means and they love it.
Yeah.
And my clients love them too. Um, I mean, I fully recognize how vulnerable you have to be to walk across that threshold
Mhm.
and like admit to someone like I need help and I'm not okay. And
So yeah, so that's the big one. That is the crux of what I'm talking about. I think everybody at some stage kind of feels, and I don't want to use, light little flippant terms like, oh, I don't feel fantastic, or, oh, I'm depressed. Oh, that's it. I'm depressed. I'm going to go to bed for a week. How do people, when people come to you, first of all, how do they feel? Like what brings them? Have you had people to say, well, I just need to talk, or what is it? So when someone, we go from the very start. If someone comes to you, someone rings you on the phone and says, I think I need help. Where do you go from there?
I say, great. What's your schedule like?
You kind of bring them in, you get them. So obviously they'll ring you up. You get them to
Okay.
come down to your is it a studio practice
Office. Yeah, my
office?
practice.
Yeah. And what is the first thing that you do with them? Like, do you just have a chat with them? Do you just sit them down and talk to them? And
I have to do some legal things first.
okay.
I have to explain confidentiality and what the barriers to that are.
Hmm.
That most of what they tell me would stay between us. Um, and so we have to go over some like logistics, like before anything. And I tell them on that first meeting that, I'm hearing your story.
Hmm.
I have to know where to start. Like, no one goes to counseling when their lives are going great.
Hmm.
They can,
Yeah.
certainly, but what brings people in is something happened,
Okay.
and they don't know how to deal with it.
Okay. So if someone comes into you and they've had a life, all something has happened in their life that is just a little bit outside of the ordinary. Now we were talking before the show as well that you were saying some people, it might be something small within their lives, and they think that it's not enough to bother you. Like to get how what would you say to somebody? You've got loads of people listening out there. What would you say to somebody that's kind of like, oh, should I do it? Should I not do it?
I hear that all the time. People think their problems aren't bad enough. I mean, we can all think of someone who has it worse than we do, so why do I need help? But I tell people, even if you've stubbed your toe and that's the worst thing that's ever happened to you and that's important to you, I want to talk about it. So, because it's important to you, it's important to me, and we're going to talk about it and we're going to get through it.
Okay. I'm talking to Janet from Carpe Diem Counseling in Anderson. Janet, what is like when somebody does come to you, if it's if it's something that they just can't talk to you. Have you had if someone walks in and they say, they'll sit down and you do all the legal stuff, you get all that out of the way, and they say, "Right, tell me your story." And if they feel that they can't tell you the story, but they've made the first step and they've realized that maybe I need a little bit of help, and they get to your office and they think that they can't talk to you. How do you get somebody to talk to you?
Honestly, I don't think that happens. I mean, the fact that they've taken the hardest step possible and come in and, "Oh, this person is gonna listen to me and care about what I have to say." I
Mhm,
mean, they just start to spill their guts. I try to ease into it if I get a sense of what they're there for. I don't wanna, start with that horrible thing that
mhm.
they're there for. Like, "Give me a little background. What was your family like?" Easy
Yeah.
questions. Um,
I suppose you're getting them just to open up a little bit, and you're getting them to, I suppose, to build trust within you. I suppose if someone has trust in you, they're more likely to talk to you. Now, some people will just talk no matter what.
right.
I've had people talk to me in gas stations. I'm like, okay, I want to listen to what you're telling me, but this is a gas station.
They need a lesson in boundaries, which I
Some people,
talk about a
yeah,
lot.
some people do. If you could, if you could change anything about the health service and the health system, the mental health service and system here in America, not just in South Carolina, um, and I say here in America, but I mean this goes out to there's people in Ireland listening to us in Europe and everything, and it's the same problem in those countries in on that continent. If you could change something, what would you change about the way mental health is perceived?
The stigma, the label, the why is it a bad thing? Who cares what the diagnosis is? Like,
Yeah.
I really honestly don't. I need a diagnosis for insurance purposes. That is the only reason I am putting anything on a piece of paper.
Hmm.
Um, the important thing is that you have something that's causing some sort of impairment in your life. Um, so let's work on that. Let's work through it. And so everyone needs counseling. Maybe that's what we need to do. Like, required, everyone in the world gets counseling.
Yeah. And I suppose it's counseling as well. It doesn't necessarily, I don't want to say they don't necessarily have to go to you, but counseling is talking, right? Am I right in
Right.
saying that?
Right. Exactly.
So counseling, before the show started, myself and Ben were there. We were chatting, we were shooting the breeze, and we were just talking about stuff that's going on in our lives. That itself is a little bit of, I mean, it's counseling for each other. It's being a sounding board. But I think you're a little bit more because you can help somebody a little bit more with that. You can guide them into the right direction. Is
That
that
is,
would
that
that
is
be?
the hope. And I guess you get into a sticky situation if you say that just talking is counseling, because what if the person talking to you is talking about ending their life? What are you going to do about
I got you.
that?
I got you.
Is that going to scare you and be like, oh, I don't want to talk about that?
Mhm.
Um, so I guess you kind of are doing counseling when you're talking to your friends and getting advice. But going to a professional, like, you're not going to scare them. Whatever you say.
Yeah, it's you're open to all the conversation. Well, tell you what, listen, hang on. Can you hang on for another few minutes?
Sure.
We're going to take a quick ad break. All right. When we come back, I'm going to keep talking to Janet from Carpe Diem Counseling in Anderson. If you've got any questions that you would like to ask Janet, don't forget you can text in on the Common Sense Retirement Planning text line 71307, and we're on the stream as well, so you can get us on there. You're listening to Sunday Nights with Odi Fitzgerald here on News Talk 98.9 WRD, the voice of the Carolinas. And you're very welcome back to Sunday Nights with Odi Fitzgerald. Now we are talking joined in studio, live in studio with Janet from Carpe Diem Counselling over in Anderson. And I was asking you to get your questions into me on the streamline. David says, Odi, are you the new Frasier? Yes, I am. No, yes. Got another person on the stream who says to me, Odie, can you ask what is the percentage of people that seek help in counseling on their very own, those those that are recommended to go to counseling? So have you had it where people are recommended, Janet from Carpe Diem Counseling in Anderson, have you had it where people have been recommended to you, or do people just kind of think, I need to do this, I'm going to go on my own, I'm going to.
There's both. Um, Unfortunately, the ones that are recommended to go, if they're not ready for it yet,
Mhm.
they may not have the best success with it. Like, you have to be ready to make changes in your life.
Yeah.
You may even know you need it, but you're just not there yet. So the people who know they need help and don't know what that help is, they they wanna come back, and they I don't know a percentage, but they
Yeah.
seem to have better success.
Okay. Okay. It's like the old, what's it? The old joke. How many counselors does it take to change a light bulb? Just the one, but the light bulb has to want to change. Is that? I think I
Yes.
heard that one before.
Yes.
So we were talking during the ad break there about something pretty big that could happen if somebody walks into your now. Just anybody listening out there, if you need to talk about this topic, then please get in touch. You can get in touch with us. Drop us a text message. We can let you know how to get in touch with Janet. But Janet, you're going to give us all your information at the end of the interview. Um, I know this is going to be a very sensitive topic, so we can help if we can. If somebody walks into your office and they say, "I'm thinking about committing suicide," what what is the plan then? What starts as soon as someone says that to you?
So like I said, the very beginning, that's part of the confidentiality. That's one of those things where I might have to break their confidentiality if they mention that.
Mhm.
But there's a big difference between thinking about it and I have a plan and I'm gonna do it. A lot of people have thoughts like, everyone would be better off if I wasn't here anymore, or if I could just go to sleep and not wake up again, everything would be better, things like that. But I mean, I used to work in the hospital setting,
Mhm.
so I saw these emergent people who did have plans. They had a way to end their life, and they needed to be in the hospital or something horrible might happen. So, um, I guess that's the first thing I cipher through is, how intense are these thoughts?
Mhm.
Are they fleeting? Are they uh, keeping you up at night that this is all you're thinking about? That sort of thing. So there's a big spectrum of it. And Um, and I always tell my clients on that first meeting, like, please don't be afraid to tell me something because a lot has to happen. Like, people are afraid to go to the hospital, because
Mhm.
then they're like, oh, I'm in the loony bin, or, all
Yeah, yeah,
those,
yeah.
again, awful labels that
Mhm.
we have for the help that we actually need. And it's kind of very fitting that today is September 8th because 988 is the National Suicide Prevention Hotline. It's like 911.
Okay,
You
so
can
is that
call or text it. Yeah.
okay? Okay, right. So yeah, because a lot of people, with the way the world has gone now, a lot of people don't like telephone calls.
Right.
Like I know myself. I talk for a living, but sometimes where someone will ring, I'll text them and they'll ring me back. I'm like, oh, I don't really. Okay, yeah, hello, and I talk to someone.
I
Um,
can't believe I answered the call when you
mhm.
called me. I
Yes,
hate it myself and I own my own business and I know how important it is to talk on the phone,
yeah.
but
So give me that number again. Was
988?
988.
Yes.
So anybody out there, if they need to talk to somebody quickly,
24/7, yes.
there's always somebody available.
And it's not just for suicide. It's,
And see, there you go. There's
anxiety, panic attacks,
Yeah, but there's something I didn't know. Like, honestly, I've been living in America for 7 years, and I did not know that there was a number that somebody could call, 988, that somebody can call or text and to get help.
so that the 3 numbers has just been, in effect for 2 years.
Okay.
And today, actually, they're starting 988 Awareness Day because today is September 8th, so it's
Mhm.
9/8. So 988 is the number, um, and you're connected to a counselor. So you're connected to a licensed professional,
Okay.
um, and you could just be incredibly overwhelmed, or again, that whole thing, well, my issue isn't big enough. Like, it
Mhm.
doesn't matter. Reach out. Like, always just reach out.
Okay. So, if you join me, I'm talking to Janet from Carpe Diem Counseling in Anderson, and she's after telling us about it's a national number, the 988. Is it what is the name behind it? Is it the suicide hotline
The
or
National Suicide Prevention Hotline.
okay? So you can get on to 988 for that. Now you were saying that some people think that their problem isn't big enough.
Right.
You need to go into that one a little bit further. Like, if is it if someone is just feeling a little bit down that they're not doing great in life or something, or is it like when you say something that, and they may think it's not big enough, but when they get to you and start talking about it, it may open up more. Would that be right? And
Well, they actually think that I'm sitting there judging them and that I'm thinking their problem isn't big enough.
right.
Um, and that couldn't be farther from the truth.
Mhm.
Um, you know, it's all part of, building that rapport. I'm here for them. Like I
Yeah.
said earlier, if you stub your toe and that's the worst thing that's ever happened to you, well, one, I want to live your life, but two, let's talk about it. Let's get through that stubbed toe.
Yeah. Yeah. And I,
Um,
I think the biggest thing, we were talking about it earlier as well, is that it's perfectly okay not to be okay.
that's right.
And I think everybody at some stage, am I right in saying that everybody in some stage in their life has a time where they're just like, "Ah, I can't do this anymore. This is just not right for me." And what you're trying to get across is that that's okay.
Right.
That's fine. If you, as I say, if you're feeling like the world is out to get you and the weight of the world is on your shoulders, and that's where you come in. That's where you're there to help people out, and colleagues around the world even.
Yes.
And it's not just, and this is not just an American thing. This is not just an English speaking thing. This is everywhere. People need help, I think.
But every culture has their own stigma regarding mental health. So you have that at play as well. So there are many cultures that we don't talk about this, or you're just taught in your family,
Mhm.
like we handle things ourselves.
Yeah.
And it's like being taught your whole life that the sky is green. And then you learn that, well, other people say the sky is blue.
Yeah.
And so you're like, well, which one is it?
Mhm. Well, Janet, I would love to talk to you more about this, and maybe we will talk about it again. If somebody wants to get in contact with you, how did they do that?
So please feel free to text me. Like I said, I may not answer the phone. Um, but my office number is 864-649-6061. So you can call, you can text that number. I do have a practice in Anderson. I'm not the biggest fan of telehealth, but I will do it. We are in that age where everything is
It's there.
online.
Tell you what, if you want to get in contact with the show, do. When we come back and we talking more stuff, you're listening to Sunday Nights with Odi Fitzgerald. Was talking to Janet from Carpe Diem Counseling. Talk to you in a few minutes. not an American citizen. So therefore, I cannot vote. Not allowed to. Can't vote. Some people are screaming at the radio now, Odie, just go and vote. You don't need an ID. Just go and do it. I can't. I want you to get out and vote. I'm not going to tell you who to vote for. That's completely up to you. I want you to get out and vote. Because I can't. Because there's people here in America. And see, here's the thing. I pay my taxes. Pay my taxes every paycheck I get. Go to buy gas, pay taxes. I have a house, I pay taxes. I have a mortgage, pay taxes on that. Pay taxes on everything. That's another story that we are going to cover at some stage. The fact that we pay taxes on taxes. You get paid in work, you pay tax. You spend the money that you've already paid tax on, you pay tax. Tax to tax, tax. In Boston, a couple of years ago, good few years ago, there was uproar. They made a big cup of tea. Anyway, we're going to talk about that at some other stage. But now, as I was saying, Kamala Harris and former President Donald Trump are going to be facing off on their very first head-to-head debate. What you need to know a little bit about the debate. Well, September 10th, and it is starting at, I think it's 7 o'clock or 8 o'clock. I don't have that there because I can't find it. No, it's gone. It is going to be, maybe Ben will look it up for me while I'm telling you about it. It's on Tuesday and it's going to be a 90-minute debate. And it's going to be moderated by a couple of ABC anchors. And it's going to take place without an audience. Now, first of all, listen to me. When I hear that something is going to be taking place without an audience, that just screams cover up to me. You know, it's just a little bit, And then it's saying there's going to be 2 commercial breaks when the campaign staff will not be allowed to interact with the candidates. So, yeah. Are the microphones going to be left on? Well, apparently Kamala doesn't want that to happen. During the debate, the candidates will have 2 minutes to answer questions and for rebuttals, along with an extra minute for follow-ups and clarifications and responses. There will be no props or pre-written notes. So they just got to go in. No notes, no nothing. Questions going to be asked. Candidates' microphones will only be live when it is their turn to speak. I don't know about you, but that's not really how a debate works. You know, if microphones are needing to be on, they're going to be on. I want to know your thoughts about about what's going to happen. Is President Trump, is he going to do the exact same as he did to President Biden? You can get us on the Common Sense Retirement Planning text line 71307. Or if you want to have a chat with me, you want to call Odie, you want to talk to Odie, get your opinion out there, you can get me on the WORD phone line, 800-905-0989. Ben is standing by to take your call now. Is the same thing going to happen? Are they going to realize, are the Democrats going to realize as Kamala is standing there, and I think somebody texted in earlier on that she's going to be some Democratic speech salad. That's very apt. You know, a little bit from here, a little bit from there, a little bit bouncing around, dodging the questions, dodging everything. And some people have said that Donald does that as well. You know, that a question that I watched the last debate, and I will say that Donald likes to get his opinion out there. We all do. And just there was 1 or 2 moments where I was kind of looking at it going, hey, man, answer the question that you were asked. Don't try. Yeah, but look at, I'm curious. I'm curious as to how he's going to do. I mean, it goes without saying he's a brilliant public speaker. He's well able to talk to people, gets on to the exact same level. This guy is a multi-millionaire, if not a billionaire. I think Donald Trump is a billionaire. He doesn't need to do this. See, that's something that I was thinking about. He doesn't need to do this. He does not need to run for president. He doesn't. He's doing it because he is an American, because he is a good American, because it seems like he actually cares about the rest of us. Yes, I know. You're saying, Odie, you're not American. I nearly am. Nearly am. Living here, do pretty much everything else that American people do. And he's looking out for us. And he did look out for us. The jobs were never, yes, I know you're talking about COVID. He was president during COVID. Nothing worked during COVID. The entire planet shut down. But yet, the jobs in America, because of Trump and his entire team, there was more jobs in America than have ever been. There was less unemployment than has ever been. He's come out and he said that he's going to fix a lot of things once he becomes president. I believe he's going to do it because the last time that he was president, he fixed a lot of things as well. Now he's coming back. Hopefully, he gets in. He's going to be great. On the text line, Odie, there is no live audience and silent microphones like his debate with, can't say that word, advantage President Trump. Yes, I think he is going to. I think he's going to show the American public what the Democrats are putting forward, and it's not. It's not what we want and need because nobody asked Kamala to run. Yeah, I don't know. It's just these things happen. When I come back, I'm going to be asking the question as to why some of our favorite restaurants are closing down. Let me know some of your favorite restaurants. You're listening to Sunday Nights with And you're very welcome back to Sunday Nights with Odi Fitzgerald, getting you ready for the working week. Trying my best to, anyway. We were talking earlier on about the big debate that's coming up on the 10th of September. We've got Kamala and former President Donald Trump. Somebody says to me that Donald is going to, well, can't really say that on air, but think he's going to do it. Another person text in. Thank you, Texter, for this one. Odie, you are an American. Well, thank you very much. I appreciate that. Somebody's asking, Odie, I don't know what Mike G meant to say. When I heard was, if she wins, Z wins. No, don't know. I'll talk to Mike. I'll be talking to Mike on Thursday. I'll ask him. See what he says about that. Now, have you had one of your favorite restaurants closed down? One of your favorite bars closed down? One of your favorite establishments, place that you like to go with the family, closed down? Why is it happening? Well, there's lots of different schools of thought on this one, and one of them is that you just can't get people to work. Are people getting lazy? Are servers not wanting to work anymore? Are cooks not wanting to work? Are chefs not wanting to work? Lots of people out there are not wanting to put in the hard graft anymore. People are saying that they can't get people to come to work, and that's why places close down. I've noticed it. There's a lot of restaurants that I like to go to with the family, and I've noticed that they're kind of rushed off their feet. There's lots of, as you know, we live outside Anderson, and we go into Anderson for food, go into Greenville sometimes for food. We head over to Commerce for food as well, sometimes in Georgia. And most of the places that we go to, it takes quite a while for our server to get down to us because there's a lot of tables, not enough servers, not enough front of house. Is that the problem? Another school of thought, and this has been said to me by a very good friend of mine. A very good friend of mine owns 2 establishments in Anderson. And he was telling me that one of the biggest problems in him keeping his doors open is the fact that the insurance is gone so high because people are abusing the system. That there's a lot of people out there and they are trying their best to get an insurance claim. Therefore, the insurance goes up. It costs a lot of money to have public liability insurance within a company, within a restaurant, within a bar, even a shop, even a store, because people are trying to make money. There was a case, I read about a case, happened up in New York. It's all been settled. It's all been done. I was reading about it. Where a young man decided, this guy was 20 years old. 20 years old. Okay. Now, we all know that over here in America, the legal drinking age limit is 21. This young guy was 20 years old. He went into a bar, he went into a pub in New York City, and he was playing pool with a couple of friends of his. He was led into the bar because it was early in the day. At one stage during the night, he decided, I think it was about 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, before all the kids were kicked out, before it was strictly over 21s just to be in the bar. He decided to take a mouthful of a friend of his pint. There was a pint sitting on the pool table. He decided that he was going to take a mouthful of it. That was it. He had a mouthful of alcohol. That's all he had. Shouldn't have done it because he was under 21, but he did it. He then left the pub, got into his car, drove home, got into an accident, hurt somebody really bad. No fatalities, just hurt somebody. His lawyer got onto him and said, well, the officers could smell alcohol on you. Were you drinking? He said, yes. How much did you drink? A mouthful of beer. The lawyer managed, because you have to remember, if you're in a bar, if you're in a pub, it's a busy place. Are the servers, are the managers, are the barman, is everybody watching everybody all at the one time? No, they're not. Go to your restaurant, go to your local restaurant tonight, tomorrow, and do something just a little bit silly, like put the salt standing on top of or yeah, put the salt standing on top of the pepper, and then take it down 5 minutes later. Ask a server, did they see what you did? They're not gonna see what you did. Servers are too busy. As I said, there's not enough of them working to see what everybody's doing. This young kid decided to take a mouthful of beer, got stopped by a cop, and the cop said, "You've been drinking." He was in an accident, he hurt somebody else. The lawyer managed to twist it around so that that bar got in trouble, got sued. They're no longer open because they had to pay so much money to keep their insurance, all because some dumb kid done something that he the problem because he managed to twist it around to say that it was the fault of the bar. How is that in any way, shape, or form acceptable? That a kid done something that he shouldn't have done. And because of that, the livelihoods of I don't know how many. You've got the barman, maybe 2 or 3 bartenders. You might have 5 or 6 servers, maybe 10 servers, maybe 2 or 3 chefs, the owner, maybe the owner's partner, maybe there's a couple of partners in on it. You got about 20 people who are now unemployed because some dumb kid decided to break the law and he had maybe enough money to get a good attorney. In what world is that right? And that is the reason that a lot of bars and pubs and establishments are having to close down because they can't afford the insurance anymore. I'm looking out at Woodruff Road. I can see Woodruff Road. If I take a spin down to the left, down to the right, I will see eating emporiums, for want of a better word, that are no longer there. Over beside, as you know, a lot of people know that I like to go to Bass Pro, go to the Cabela's, and there was a pizza joint right there. It's not open anymore. Saturday nights, myself and Lonzo, we used to head over, have a bit of food before the show on a Saturday night. Can't go there. Like the pizzas, really like really like the pizzas that were there. Can't do it anymore. Can't afford the insurance. It's too expensive. Is it going to get to the stage where there's going to be nothing open because people can't afford the insurance? I don't know how they're doing it at the minute. Let me know your thoughts. As I said, you can text on the Common Sense Retirement Planning text line 71307, or if you're in Ireland, as Lonzo says, 71307. Or if you want to give me a call, if you want to come on and have a chat with me live on air, you can get me on the WORD phone line, which is 800 905 0989. That's 800 905 0989. I would love to hear your comments about why you think all of these establishments are closing down. Is there anything we can do about it? Is it going to be that everybody is going to be having to have a few drinks at their house? They're going to have to be doing house parties. They're going to have guests over. They're going to be cooking out at home because you just can't go anywhere anymore. Yeah, I know there's been in Greenville and in Anderson, there's been a new burger joint is after opening up, Whataburger. But at what cost? You know, there's small little family run businesses all over the place, everywhere. You got small family run businesses that have really good food, really, really good homemade food. And they're having to go out of business because they just can't afford to run it anymore. I just sometimes it just bothers me a little bit. Yeah. Anyway, when I come back in a couple of minutes, I am going to be having a little chat about where is it here? I'm going to be chatting about motorcycle riders and safety. I know it's coming up to the end of the motorcycling season, but I want to have a little chat to you, have a little talk, help you to be a little bit safer. You're listening to Sunday Nights with Odi Fitzgerald here on News Talk 98.9 WORD. It's the voice of the Carolinas. And you're very welcome back to Sunday Nights with me, Odi Fitzgerald. As I say, trying to lull you into a false sense of security. The weekend is there's still plenty of time left. No, there's not. The weekend, you've got a couple of hours. You could be on your way home, or you could be on your way to wherever you're going to. You could be heading somewhere for work. You could be traveling for work. You could be commuting, heading down on a Sunday, getting ready to do the week's work. Could be sitting at home. You could be having dinner. Be having a late supper, as we say back in Ireland. We'd call that tea. You could be having your tea. Remember, you can get in touch with me if you want. Give me a text on the Common Sense Retirement Planning text line, 71307. Or if you feel that way inclined, you can give me a phone call. Ben is standing by. Take your calls. The WORD phone line, 800-905-0989. Now, I'm going to talk a little bit about motorcycle safety and why people don't wear helmets. So if you have anything that you want to say about that, then please get in contact with me. I'd love to have a chat with you. But before that, I want to talk about the Paralympics that are happening over in Paris. Well, they're about ready to finish up now. I think they finished up maybe a little bit. There's an Italian transgender runner who is in the Paralympics. Now, as you know, the Paralympics is for people that have a little bit, they could be missing an arm, or they could be missing a leg. There could have, they could be blind. They could be deaf. There could be something a little bit wrong. Not wrong, different. Something could be a little bit different. Well, there's an Italian transgender athlete, Valentina Pertudu. It's probably a made up name anyway, because it's a trans athlete. Is he, she, it, them decided that they wanted to take part in the T12 400 meters for the visually impaired runners. Well, that's what there is. 400 meters for visually impaired. And he, because it is a he, decided to race against women. If you look at any of the photographs of this male athlete, you can tell. You remember, runners wear tight clothing. Just get a good mental image there into your brain. Runners athletes wear tight clothing. If you're looking at this person from the top, well, they got the long blonde hair. That could be a wig. It could be. Or they could just be growing hair. I used to have long hair when I was a kid. There could be a lot of stuff like that happening. Then you move down to the shoulders, fairly manly looking shoulders. Then you move down to where if it was a female, there would be breasts. There's not. It's just a man. You move further down the body, and then there it is. Yeah. Not a woman. It's not a woman. Not even trying to be a woman. Just decided to say, you know what? I think I'll be a woman today. But it didn't make any difference because I'm calling it it, because it's not a woman. It's a guy. It's a dude. Didn't even make it to the qualifications for the 400 meters. I'm just, yeah. On the text line, Odi, I was talking earlier on about lots of places having to close down, lots of restaurants and everything having to close down. Odi, I agree with your point. On the flip side, adults know better, and waiters, waitresses keep track of drinks. Sometimes they do. You get a busy night. I don't know. Joining me live now on the phones, I'm going to go to Roger over in Taylor's. Roger, how are you, buddy?
I'm doing good. How you doing, Odie?
I'm doing absolutely fantastic. I'm getting ready for the working week now, and I'm helping people to wind down as best I can. Roger, what do you want to talk about, bud?
Well, with your new show, people's going to have to get accustomed to it. In other words, when I heard it, and I was like, well, I can cut the football game down to 0 on the volume, and I can listen to Odie and watch the football game.
There you go.
but you're going through so many topics.
Mm.
There's it's amazing in America how people they're actually, it seems like they're wanting to take women and put them back in dresses and in the kitchen and having babies. I mean, it's almost like Muslim countries as far as allow. It's so stupid. It makes no sense to allow boys in the girls' sports.
That's the thing, Roger. I know. I believe if a guy goes in to take part in a girls' sport, if it's basketball, if it's a team event, it's an unfair. It is 100% an unfair advantage. I don't care. If I'm 6 foot tall, I'm 224 pounds. If you put a 6 foot tall, 224-pound girl standing beside me, same height, same build, because of the testosterone that's in my body, going to have that little bit more strength. I'm not saying I'm the strongest guy in the world, but it's just there's no comparison because it's not fair. It's really not fair.
Right. And when I started listening, you were talking about voting.
Yes.
I don't want anybody to vote unless they vote for mean tweets, low energy, low interest rates, and low grocery store prices.
Yes. Yes. 100%. It is costing me more money to do a Sunday dinner, to do like we normally do a big Sunday dinner, and it's costing me more money. Listen, Roger, thank you very much for your call, but it is costing a lot more money to do the normal stuff. Yes, I know people are going to say now that it's cheaper to run my truck now because it's only $2.62 to, buy a gallon of gasoline. I don't care. Do you remember a couple of months back? We don't even have to go back a couple of months. A couple of weeks back. It was $3.50 for a gallon. And that's here in South Carolina. You go to California, where all these Democrats are loved. Can't imagine why. And they can't even afford to drive their vehicles anymore. They're all buying electric vehicles. That doesn't make any sense to me at all. Buying an electric vehicle. And now, because they've got so many electric vehicles, they're going to charge them extra money to charge their electric vehicles because that's just the way things are going. It's ever so slightly scary what's happening. But yeah, no, as Roger was saying, boys should not be competing. No, they should not be competing in girls' sports. They are physically stronger. They have testosterone in their bodies. They've got hormones that girls don't have. It's not right. And you think about that when you are going to vote. Tell you what, when you go to vote, I want you to go to your local supermarket, okay? Whatever day the vote is happening, I want you to put off doing your weekly shop. You know, the big shop, the big purchase where you go to, fill your fridge. If you can, I want you to put it off until the morning you are going to vote. That week, I think the vote is on a Tuesday, it could be Wednesday. I'm not 100% sure. I want you to go to the store. I want you to go to your local store and I want you to do your big shop that day. I want you to bring your receipt with you when you go to vote. I want you to look at the cost of it, the $300, $200, whatever it is, depending on how big your family is to feed, $400. And I want you to look at that number before you make your vote. And just remember, when Donald was back, when Donald was there, when Donald was our president, remember how cheap it was to do your weekly shop. When I come back, I am going to be talking about the motorcycle safety because, I'm a motorcycle rider and I want to get your opinions on that. You're listening to Sunday Nights with Odi Fitzgerald here on News Talk 98.9 WORD, the voice of the Carolinas. And you're very welcome back to Sunday Nights with me, Odi Fitzgerald. Now, earlier on, I was talking about electric vehicles. Yeah. Texter to the Common Sense Retirement Planning text line says, Odi, I don't want an electric vehicle. 2 months in a row, my Duke power bill was almost $400, and that doesn't include natural gas and water. You see. And as well as that, I've been talking to a few people that own electric vehicles, and they're not, I won't say that they're over the moon with them. They like them kind of, but a lot of the people, unless they have the Tesla batteries built into their house, you can do it. You can put solar panels on your roof, and you can put the batteries in your garage or wherever, or sorry, garage. Some people think it's very funny the way I say garage. You can put your batteries into the garage, and you can charge your Tesla fully overnight. Otherwise, you have to use the superchargers, or you have to use the fast chargers. There's lots of different places you can charge them. But no, I will not also not be going for an electric vehicle because we don't know anything about them. So what are you saying, Odie? What do you mean we don't know anything about them? We don't know how long the batteries last. Some batteries last longer than others. We don't know what to do with the batteries after the car is old. If you were buying a second-hand Tesla, do you feel confident that the person that had it before you, now not just say Tesla, there's Volkswagens, there's many other electric vehicles out there. Do you feel confident in the person that had the vehicle before you is going to be looking after the vehicle and your batteries are going to be good? I got another texter in and it said, Odie, are you? And that was it. Question mark. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I am. Maybe I'm not. I don't know. Now, something close to my heart that I want to have a little chat about, a little conversation about it, is motorcycle riders. If you ride motorcycles here in South Carolina or anywhere in the country, Georgia and North Carolina, they have helmet laws. If you ride a motorcycle in Georgia or in North Carolina, you have to wear a helmet. Fair enough. Whenever I ride a motorcycle, I wear a helmet. Why do motorcycle ride? I listen. All right. I have ridden a motorcycle without a helmet. I have. And I didn't like it. It didn't feel right. And I know you're saying, yeah, well, in Ireland you have to. I've been riding motorcycles for probably 40 years now. I've been riding motorcycles since I was about 3 or 4. Always had a helmet on. It feels wrong without a helmet. I want to know why you feel the need of riding a motorcycle without a helmet. And it's not just, I mean, some people say, oh, well, Harley Davidson riders ride them without helmets. And no, it's not just them. I've seen people on sports bikes riding without helmets. I've seen them where the helmet is strapped to the back seat. Not really going to help you in a serious crash. If you come off your motorcycle and you don't have a helmet, your head is more than likely going to hit the ground at speed. And then I see people without protection in their arms, without protection in their legs. They're wearing short pants and trainers, tennis shoes, runners, whatever you want to call them, and a little t-shirt. I've had motorcycle accidents. I've got scars. If you're watching on the stream, I have a scar right here on my head, just over my forehead, that I got from a motorcycle accident. I had all my gear on. I had my leathers on. I had my helmet on. I still got a scar because I slid along the road for so long that I have road rash on my hip. I have road rash on my leg. It's still there. This accident happened over 25 years ago, and I still have scars from road rash on my body, even though I was wearing the correct protection. The leather gear, Gore-Tex gear. The doctors had said to me, if I hadn't been wearing the correct protection, I would not be here to talk to you now because the injuries I would have suffered would have been so much greater. There would have been nothing around. Everybody I see riding bikes, they're older guys, not little kids, not young tiny kids. They look like they could be granddads, could be grandfathers, could be uncles, could be dads. You're heading out on your bike. and you've got a kid or a wife or a nephew, they're hoping you come home. If you have an accident, you might come home with a broken leg. It's facts. It's what it is. And just in case you're thinking that, oh, Odie's he's on a high horse there and he's talking about this and the other. No, no, no. In 2021, there was 161 motorcyclists killed here in South Carolina. 2019, there was 123. 2020, there was 116. So over the space of 3 years, there was over 400, 400 people killed off motorcycles. One thing that people say, 70% of the accidents occurred because the driver that hit them did not see the other motorcycle. They didn't see them. They pulled out in front of them. They merged into traffic. You're so vulnerable. Is it a thing that you possibly need training if you're not being seen? They say there's the dragonfly effect. I don't know if you've ever heard of that before, but if you're driving down the center of the road, if you're driving the center of your lane, that you might not be seen. You need to go to one side, left or right a little bit, just so that the car can see you. They can see the side of your bike rather than just the front of your bike. Some people riding bikes with black clothing. You're not going to be seen without a headlight. You're not going to be seen. Yes, I know people driving cars, trucks, other motorcycles, they need to slow down. They need to be more observant. They need to put down the mobile phones when they're driving. You need to stop looking at your seriously. All the young now I've seen older people doing it as well, but all the young kids I've seen driving around, they have their heads down. They're on their phone. Get off your phone when you're driving. Seriously. And I hate to say it, but if you're on your phone when you're driving, somebody else is on their phone, they're texting. If your kid leaves the house tonight and they're going somewhere to see a friend, are they going to be having their eyes on the road at all times? Probably not. Your kid is leaving the house. Your kid is 20 years old. They're leaving the house tonight. They're texting while driving, texting their friends on Facebook, doing Instagram lives. They're on TikTok. They're doing TikTok videos while driving. Have a conversation with your kids. You want them. You have spent 20 years keeping that child alive, and then they go and do something stupid like use their phone while they're driving. You need to have a conversation with your kid. And it's the same with bikers. You're vulnerable. Put on a helmet. Seriously, put on a helmet. Texter says to me, Odi, helmets? I have a motorcycle license and I only wear half a helmet. I used to not wear one at all, but you're wearing half a helmet. You're wearing one. You're wearing something that is offering some protection to your cranium. Gray matters in their brain. That's where we do all our living, is in our heads. Our whole body is a submarine just for your brain. Somebody text in, Odi, has anybody tried an electric motorcycle? I have. It was terrible. It was quick. It was fast. It had loads of power. But after I was working for a TV company at the time, and the battery died. The battery died really quick. Odi, what is we got? Odi, I'm thankfully here, and we will have. Or Odi, we're thankful you're here, and glad that you wear a helmet. Thank you very much. So now, that's it. I've said my piece about motorcycles and wearing helmets. I really want you to wear them. I will not be back next Saturday night with Lons and the guys because I will be in the Clemson Little Theatre with the what is it? The Murder on the Orient Express. I'm directing that Friday, Saturday. I'll be here next Sunday night. Don't worry, I will be here next Sunday night to keep an eye on you and to make sure everything goes okay for another episode of Sunday Night with Odi Fitzgerald. So between now and then, I want you to stay safe. Have a fantastic week at work. Tara will be in tomorrow morning. Thank you to everybody that has sent me messages and had all the fun with me. You're listening to Sunday Night with Odi Fitzgerald here on News Talk 98.9 WRD, the voice of the Carolinas. Stay safe out there. Talk to you next week. Slán Bye.